That we need to, there's no substitute for dramatic reduction in the emissions of CO2 and the greenhouse gases. So they're basically saying they won't save us, it won't save us, but by saying geoengineering can't save us, it's getting the public thinking, but maybe it will, we need to save ourselves. Come on, just do that instead. So here we've got The Economist. If all else fails, man-made global cooling is scary, but it may become necessary. Then they pose this photo as if it's not something that's actually going on, and they say, hey, we could do this to save ourselves from ourselves. Okay? So you see the story that's unfolding, and I get these alerts every time the word geoengineering comes in, and this is November of last year, this is March of last year, okay? These constant manipulation, hey, we need to do something. Geoengineering is a dirty word, but the consensus is that we gotta do something to save ourselves from ourselves. Next, please. Okay, so you got PBS. Does that get a little stretched out? No, it looks okay. Solar radiation management, central idea of the planet. A little bit more reflective, using what? Metal particulates, okay? So PBS plugs it in July, along comes The Economist to back them up, and then Bloomberg, Washington Times was in there, like all last year, they're just hitting the public from every angle saying, guess what, we have a solution, it may be risky, but we need to do it. Next, please. Wow. Okay, further fear-mongering. Guess what, the polar bears are fine. Imagine that. Next, please. Be worried, be very worried. This photo saw 1 billion eyes, 1 billion eyes. Go back. You know how many people saw that? How many people have seen, okay, 1 billion people saw that? How many people saw this? Literally. How many people in the room thought the polar bears were all dead?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, either way, I thought they weren't until I did some research. So look, Time Magazine, total manipulation. Time Magazine applauds Mark Zuckerberg for silencing people who speak out against vaccines. So if I go and talk about vaccines, and then Facebook just silences my post, Time Magazine says, yeah, good job, Mark Zuckerberg, we need you. So they're all paid. The Time Magazine is in the same conglomerate of the 5 multinationals that own all the media. 5 companies own all the media in the world. 5 companies. Keep going, please. Oops. So what does that all mean? You guys are smart, you get this. California drought, global agenda, NWO, carbon tax. Okay, carbon tax. We convince ourselves to be fearful of global warming. We convince ourselves that anthropogenic, man-made global warming is our problem. And then somehow somebody's going to collect a tax on every carbon emissions because they say carbon is what's causing the problem. This carbon tax, no bueno. Next, please. Sorry, it's not good. We need to do something. The carbon tax cannot go down because it's literally the global elitists collecting the bill and claiming, you see where they're going with it. They're telling us that if they collect carbon taxes that we're going to save the skinny polar bears. Action, okay? Further focus action on the horizon, okay? That Harry Rhodes putting up the Oregon generators on people's property, that's one thing, but I've got other things in mind. I've got a whole plan. All right, but one of them is taking your health into your own hands. I've got nanoscientists and holistic health practitioners that are going to be coming to speak at the Global Chemtrail Summit in Vancouver on May 7th. I'm going to stream it live. Okay, so if you can't make it, that's awesome. That's too bad. But you can see it on the internet. Next year, it's in Portland. Global Annual Chemtrail Summit, Portland, 2017. 2018, it's in Berkeley. 2019, I'm going to take it to another city. But this is ongoing, with or without me. Everybody needs to. It's going to be twice as big, twice as better every single year. So, do what you can. We need to create a forum to create further awareness. Joining this group right here. This group, I didn't know about this group until on 9/11 I saw that the Southern Oregon Blue Skies Project was putting on a fundraiser to create money to put up a billboard. I'm involved in almost every group on the planet, and this is one of the only groups that actually does stuff. Okay? They do stuff to raise money, they put together dances, and they're actually fun. So joining them is something in your community. Yeah, this is awesome. They do it, so deserve a round of applause. And especially we need the youth, and tell a friend. There's other people. I've talked to a lot of people, even on the campus today, and around town. I mean, not today, sorry, that was last week. But even in this town, that have said, "Oh, my friend's really into that," or "Oh, I know." It's like if you just open up the conversation, there's people that are already awake. It's not about waking everyone up necessarily. It's about gathering like-minded. But we can do both. Okay, next, please. Okay, resources. I've got so many memes and stuff like that. I'm sorry for my Facebook friend because I just pile them on. But I've got lots of information. If you click this one more time, so does Suzanne Marr at Bye Bye Blue Sky out of Canada, and Patrick Roddy out of South Australia does. These 2 resources, if anybody asks for information, I just plug them because I value them, I trust them, and they're loyal to it. This is good information to spread on, right? And it's all encompassing right there, these two. Let's keep going, please. And then, okay, so we're gonna try and give you all a little break for snacks and stuff, and then Ted will come on too. So, not to talk about myself, but I just wanted to let you guys know about some of this stuff. So this is me. I'm on Facebook. I'm posting like crazy, but like literally I'm getting 200 followers a day, Carla. Where you at? 200 followers a day. Hey.
What's the website for the live stream? And will you do a replay of the thing too?
Yeah, the live stream is going to be on Press for Truth. Press for Truth. Press for Truth. I'll have an actual link that I'll put up a week or two ahead of time.
Is that FOR?
Yep, Press for Truth. It's a Vancouver Truth Media. Dan Dix is the owner.
.com?
But I'll let everyone know, and I'll have this project, the Southern Oregon Blue Skies, put it out. So I've got actual activists. This is a site on Facebook, okay? And I'm up to and this is wide range. It talks about fluoride, chemtrails, and everything. I'm up to 11,000 likes, and I'm getting. This one's really gaining a lot of momentum. It reaches 100,000 people a day. Wow. 100,000 people a day. Okay. This actual chemtrail activist is only like committed actual chemtrail activists like Laura and myself and. Donna and Kathy and everybody else that's here, that's awesome. Okay, this is good. This is a good group to be in because it's a group of people like-minded that are actually doing stuff. Okay, and on here I host a lot of information, flyers, this PowerPoint, any information you want, and images and whatnot. It's on there. Frank Sky is the feature film I'm working on. This has a Facebook page as well. Frank and Sky is underneath the umbrella of this Facebook page. Meet the Frankens, Franken Food GMOs, Frank and Sky chemtrails. Franken children mandatory vaccines. Do you really want a Franken future? Okay, so this is my attempt to merge. That was my attempt to merge those 3 activist groups, and then the actual activist is my attempt to merge all the activist groups, and then there's just the chemtrails, which is very important. So this is the conference in, guess what, Vancouver. This is where I was living for the past year, and I'm down here just to get more filming in the California drought, and to get these different interviews together, and to do other stuff like this. But this one, yeah, this one's gonna go over this one in just a second. Okay, next. So,
oh, you got it.
Ta-da! So we got flyers for this, and then this is this right here. This is in Williams, Oregon. This is coming up. This is next week, okay? This is next Sunday, and it's going to be a great time. It's from 12 to 5. We've got Deborah J. Whitman speaking. We've got Gary Fowler speaking. We've got me speaking. Michael Murphy, he's a chemtrail filmmaker as well. We've got Paula Pimentel from the local community. Pastor Doug Fine. Patrick Roddy from San Francisco's coming up. Harry Rhodes, the Oregon generator guy, who I'm going to bring here. We're Skyping him in for this one. We've also got Childcraft Fun workshops, Detoxifying Your Life, Oregon Alchemy, and it looks like 4 bands and food. Okay? It's at the let's go back. I did these things, but let's go back. One more. Okay, the Pacifica. Okay, the Pacifica in Williams is a barn.
Gardens.
Yeah, the Pacifica Gardens. It's a venue space set up by the Steve Miller Band. It seats 300 people. It's a beautiful high-tech barn recording studio venue space. The whole front of the barn opens up. It's a beautiful spot. It's booked for a few years solid until they found out that we wanted to do something to raise awareness on chemtrails. It's a fundraising event, and I'm going to end up killing that thing. So then, it's a fundraising event, and if we get enough money together, we're going to be flying in an activist, Max Bliss from Paris for the Chemtrail Summit in Vancouver, and hopefully Tara Lawton from Ireland. But the purpose of this is to raise funding for further events. Okay, so it's going to be a good time, and hopefully you can come. And if you come with no money in your pockets, just come. It doesn't matter. Okay, next. Look, I didn't put that there.
Can I ask you a question real quick about the Facebook page, your chemtrail Facebook pages? How do you keep them from shutting those down? Or not letting other people see them? Because you were saying you weren't.
Well, I don't know. I just, Facebook is my only option right now. I'm going to be getting off Facebook. Some things are silenced, some things are not. Like I put up this thing, I made these signs, and this is in Vancouver, and it's my buddy Cameron, and my other friend. So I put this up. So Matt Landman is just like a Facebook entity, you know, I like speak of him in third person or whatever, because he just like does his own thing. So I put different things on there and I pile things on, right? I just pile stuff in. This thing had 300 shares in like 10 minutes, this image, and then it just disappeared. And then everyone's like, why'd you take it down? Why'd you take it down? Like they have a heat map in Facebook, and if there's certain items get too hot, they just take them down.
Yeah.
And I can't do anything about it, and I'd like to be able to build up enough resources to have my own website, and that is the goal, and that's why I save all my media. I save all my media, and I have everything ready for the website. I'm just not quite there yet. But don't worry, I won't graffiti your town, but I do graffiti some towns, sorry. And I made some awesome buttons. Next. That's Vancouver City. Oh. Slide. Okay, 5 more minutes. No, and we're done? No. That's way. Thanks for bearing with us. Maybe it will go this way. So, almost there, but this is going all right, huh?
Yeah, you're doing great.
So does anybody have any questions thus far? I think I might at the end. I think I wanted to put some inspiring quote towards the end. Oh, I can't go to the end.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Want me to drag it?
Yeah, just see if you can drag it. Please, first.
HARP, I've been told, officially has been shut down. Do you know anything about that? Are they just lying?
Okay, so they did turn it off for like a year because there's some funding issues, but they got it turned back on, and there's a whole bunch of other ones too. So
Okay, so-
there was Mr. Begich.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he spoke to that a couple weeks ago. I was here to listen to him, which is awesome. Does that drag? Either way, I think I was done. It was just some an inspirational quote at the end. Be the change you want to see in the world. Martin Luther King. The silence. History will know the silence of our something or other. Go first. Yes, please.
Why are they spring?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's a good question, and then whenever I talk to people and they say why, I say thank you for getting to that point because you're actually willing to accept that it's ongoing and you're being a critical thinker, and that's great. I can only speculate, okay? My speculation is, well my speculation is totally like fear, I don't want to say it, it's really fear-mongering, but Ted is going to talk about that. That's why we have another speaker. But my explanation of the why is they want to control the weather, okay? You can trade, there's a commodities market where you can actually trade the weather. You can bet futures market on if it's going to snow or rain. If you are in control of the weather, then you can flood out your opponent's farm and then come buy it for pennies on the dollar. If you control the weather, you can drought out California and then come and buy it up for pennies on the dollar. You know, it's basically greed, corruption, and this incredible power getting in the wrong hands, and they got to test it out constantly. They're addicted to they're bad people, or maybe not even people, but they're bad. I mean, Ted's going to talk about the fact that he doesn't think they're even people. I mean, that's Ted. But honestly, at the end of the day, they say, look, you need chemtrails to save you from the drought. Then you sign off, oh yeah, we need chemtrails. How much is that going to cost? Then you're praying for more chemtrails. They dump the aluminum on your head. The only thing that works is Monsanto's seeds. And then they've got complete control over the weather, the air, and the food. It's just control people.
And the people.
And the people. Yeah, I mean, if you really want to talk about the electromagnetic frequencies, if they get enough metallic dust in the atmosphere, and according to NASA, they haven't bore into us, eventually they'll flip the switch and we'll just be brainwashed. I mean, and they can literally say like, they can do whatever they want. I don't know, I don't even understand Tesla's technology, and they've ran with it for 80 years, you know what I mean? So it's like, I can only speculate, but I do know what I do know.
Well, if you absorb enough metal in your system, you become an antenna.
Exactly.
So they're projecting HARP, and HARP is affecting your body and your mind, because you are partly metal at that point.
Yeah, but we can do things to get it out. There's different, there's a chlorella, cilantro, 40-day diet that gets 80% aluminum mercury out of your body. There's also these nanoscientists. Is this where we were? Yeah, this is it!
One more.
Right, this is a good one. Little guilt trip for you. Just kidding. But yeah, I think in the end game is, I think what they're doing is they're running with the technology, seeing what they can get away with, filling the aluminum in the atmosphere, just getting it out there, and if they can keep taking it well, another step further, they will. If they can turn everybody into an antenna, they will. But if we get all these Oregon generators and create a safe zone and diffuse that, and they can't have the stuff floating, and then we get in contact with these nanoscientists, holistic nanoscientist doctors, who have reached out to me and are going to be speaking in Vancouver, 2 of them, then we get the knowledge, we get the stuff out of us, we prevent it from getting back inside of us, and then when they do flip the switch, we have our little safe zone in the Pacific Northwest, we have our big spiritual awakening, whatever's going to happen, and then we win.
In the Pacific Northwest, assuming that there's uniform chemtrail activity, are some microclimates more susceptible to exposure than others?
I feel like valleys and certain areas, I know Shasta gets dumped on really hard. I mean, is that because, why is that? You know what I mean? I do think some areas get it more, yes, okay? Globally, some areas get it more, like Paris gets it really bad. One of my activist friends can't even go outside because of her heavy metal poisoning. But then some places, like when I was living in Vancouver, it wasn't as often, I'm sorry, it just really wasn't. And then I come down here and I see it all the time. I see it in Northern California where I'm living now often because it's the mouth of the atmospheric river. It's where the jet stream comes in and they manipulate it right there. Like it comes in and hits land, they're manipulating it right there. They're steering it, they're doing whatever they want to do with it. So to answer your question, yes, I think there's more. I think more areas are more susceptible. I think that honestly, there's some serious out there stuff at play where maybe they know that there will be a revolution of some sorts or an awakening of some sorts, and they're preemptively targeting certain areas based on that. That's just as potential. You know, I mean, it's a lot of speculation, right? Yes, sir.
Is weather modification, as done by HARP, a different item than spraying chemicals on us?
Well, the chemicals are, let's see. Okay, so first off, when they spray the chemicals, oftentimes it's a metallic combination of aluminum, barium, strontium, like this metallic dust. When the metallic dust is in the atmosphere, then they crank the heart frequency through there, and that's going on. So they interact with one another, okay? You can send the heart frequency farther with metallic dust all the way in the atmosphere across the planet. If the metallic dust is down here, they can crank it through us and put us into a brainwave pattern that makes us not be able to focus or whatever their agenda is. I mean, like, they're playing with brainwave frequencies. Like, we're really easily manipulated. If you listen to one frequency, it's called binaural beat, but if you listen to one frequency here and another frequency here, the differential, your brain kicks in the differential. Like if you're 12 here and 4 here, your brain will operate like an 8. You know what I mean? Like you can really adjust your brainwave frequency really easily. So if they're running with highly advanced technology, then they utilize that metallic dust with the electromagnetic frequencies to manipulate whatever they want. But also, HARP isn't used when they're just dumping lithium and doing these other experimental things. I know there's a lot of cadmium in the air here and stuff like that. Like the cadmium is something that I really want to look into for my next still short deck community, because the cadmium should not be. I mean, there's the levels of cadmium in Oregon are astonishing, and it's okay. So I'll go with that really quick. So there's one theory that they're using this coal fly ash. So you have these coal scrubbers and the coal fire burning. The coal power plants, okay? And you get the soot from there, you run it through a quick and dirty filtration process, and you end up with this nanoparticulates that you can mess with and electrify and do whatever you want. Instead of putting it in a landfill, they get the dust from there. It's really, really high in aluminum, barium, strontium, cadmium as well. It's really, really high in cadmium. So they can get this rough and dirty extraction method and then add whatever they want, add the lithium or magnetize or plasmafy or whatever they do to suspend it in the atmosphere. But there's theories that it's coming from there, and I think those theories are pretty sound, and that would be an indicator for why there's such high cadmium levels in the air in this region.
I had 3 little children, and I was in the 80s, and I used to go to a very wilderness place up north, and I would wait for the chemtrails to come, and they didn't disappear. They were totally different. And one plane, which I won't say who it was, but it was my husband, would break formation, come down, and go up, and the chemtrails just stayed. They just stayed, and you know, anyone could have noticed they were very different.
Yeah, I've seen ones, not to go too on this one, but I've seen different ones. I've seen ones coming off the coast that are just big fat barrels that last all day long, that are like maybe like some sort of storm guidance kind of thing. You know that Willow Creek, right, Bill?
For sure, right?
It's like, yeah, and some of them just last all day long, and you're like, what is going on? And then like clouds go flying by, and these things are just right there. And you see the wind going, and clouds are like literally going right by them, but this are just all day long.
Well,
And
maybe
this one
partly
just, they act
maybe
differently.
partly what